Hello and welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups, technology and entrepreneurship. As you know, we've really kept it with GST last week, this week as well. And the issue that we're going to analyze today is something that everyone's been hoping for because of GST. It's the larger impact that this is going to have on jobs. A lot of numbers flying around. Some people say that it could generate over 1 lakh jobs going forward, that there is going to be a huge demand for professionals as a lot of small businesses make the transition to GST. It's also going to open up a lot of opportunity for startups. Now, to really analyze this, to really find out if the job creation around GST is fact or fiction, we have a very special panel lined up here on Startup Central. We have V. Balakrishnan, the former CFO of Infosys. Interestingly, he's also an investor in a startup that's providing services for GST. We also have Rituparna Chakraborty. She's the co-founder and executive vice president of Teamlease Services. She also heads the Staffing Federation of India, and we also have Chris Lakshmikant joining us from the Bangalore studio. He is the head of Headhunters India. Thank you all for joining us, the informal economy, but also the formal economy, because remember, a lot of companies have to update their ERP to really comply with GST. So that's a big opportunity for IT companies. But Rituparna, what is your own estimate as far as this is concerned? Have you guys been able to actually come up with numbers, with an estimate as far as job creation is concerned?
Definitely positive. I think the biggest boost comes from the fact that GST will take away any sort of attraction that organizations, whether small or big, had in terms of deploying workforce through informal channels. I think it will drive formalization of workforce in a big way to begin with. Besides that, I think quite a significant number of sectors immediately stand to benefit, and that would actually lead to increase in demand, and that would, we believe that would actually go on to increase the level of jobs that are available, nothing less than 10 to 13%, and my belief is that also happens to be a conservative estimate.
Right. Rituparna, I'm going to come back to you for more details on, the sectors and also the states. But Chris Lakshmikant, you heard out V. Balakrishnan and also, Rituparna of Teamlease. Broadly, the perception is positive on job creation. But, take us through what your own sense is. Are we the obvious candidates, like Mr. Lakshmikant was pointing out, are, the CAs who have a lot of work now on compliance, but which sectors are likely to benefit the most?
I think the sectors which will benefit across the country, of course, is e-commerce, logistics, consumer durable, pharma, to name a few. In the long run, you would see the benefit translating across sectors. But I think immediate impact you will see showing up in these sectors, and our estimate again is that on an average across these sectors you will see an increase in demand to the tune of 10, and it can go up to 19% also in some cases.
Mr. Chris Lakshmikant, 1 lakh to 2 lakh is a huge number on the face of it. Back those numbers up for us, give us some evidence to show that this, Ritu, coming back to you, what in your own sense is going to be the nature of employment as far as GST is concerned?
Look, there would be, of course, formalization is honestly, in my view, GST is probably the best labor reform that India has witnessed in a long time. And that's largely on account of the fact that it will drive a lot of formalization, which essentially means that a lot of jobs which were earlier going unaccounted for in the informal sector, of course, will move on into the formal sector. But leaving that aside, I also anticipate a lot of new job creation on account of higher profitability which some sectors would be sitting on. And on account of the uniformity, it brings in a lot of predictability for organization, which helps them explore newer markets, expand, and that would lead to new job creation. The functions that we feel where most impact will happen would be largely, again, sales, logistics, customer support.
Thanks so much, Bala, Mr. Lakshmikant, as well as Rituparna Chakraborty, for giving us that all-rounded perspective on the job creation from GST. So getting back to the core of our discussion, it's certainly not completely fiction. There are going to be a lot of jobs, and not just for the chartered accountants and lawyers, but as Mr. Lakshmikant said, a lot of opportunity even if you've passed out of 12th standard, because getting trained in GST compliance software is not going to be that difficult. So a lot of scope for job creation. Bala is also classified into 3 categories. So apart from CAs, lawyers, techies, remember the technology industry, IT industry has really been going through a tough phase because of layoffs. But at least here techies will be in demand from 2 aspects. One, of course, is the implementation of core ERP as companies transition to GST. They also have opportunities to build services on top of the GST network. A lot of startups are already doing that. So that could be another avenue of employment. But on that positive note, I'm coming to the end of this edition of ET Now Startup Central. We will, of course, review how all this has panned out a few weeks, months from now. But that's it from here.